All right, hello friends. Welcome to my live stream. I'm just seeing if everything is working as it should. Hopefully everything is working. So hello, welcome. And we are, oh, my hot pan on my baggie there. My name is Philly, and welcome to my kitchen. I am going to be doing a wonderful stream tonight. I hope it's wonderful. And it's French food at home. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is I've made some, well, I've had this leftover sourdough bread that's been cubed in my freezer. I like to do that sometimes when I've got leftover bread that I know that Hubs and I will be using. So I will cube it, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and that way it's easy to make into croutons, which we had on our soup today. But I'm going to use the leftover ones to I fried them up in some butter, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese over top, just to give them a little bit of flavor, because when I was preparing for this live stream, I realized I didn't think about a bread course or any kind of carb. And not that you have to have a carb, but it is kind of nice to have a carb. And it's been rainy here in Philly all day. So
happy rainy Saturday.
Thank you, babe. But it has been rainy here. Hi, Barbara. How are you? So I kind of thought, you know what? I want a carb. So that's what we're going to do. So these we're going to just have with our fish that I'm also going to be throwing in the oven in just a minute before I prepare the salad we're having it. So yes, Barb, it has been a rainy and chilly one, hasn't it? But I'm excited it's Saturday. So again, just salt, butter, and then I added a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and I'll just keep those warm right there. I can always turn that on to get it warmed before we begin. So, as you know, this is my second live stream, my second series for French food at home, and this is a cookbook that I've had for years. Loved. I mean, I loved looking through it, and I would talk to Hubs about it. So many things that are great in here. Laura Calder, she had a show that was on the cooking channel. She was on PBS maybe? No, I think it was a cooking channel that she was. She wasn't the PBS days. But in any event, and I think someone said she's on PBS now maybe, but she is a phenomenal chef, and she's from Canada, but she, I think, really fancies French cooking, and this show that she had got me hooked, and so I wanted the cookbook. And for this month, I asked people on social media, my people following me, to pick the salad. It's going to be a salad course today. And it was between a fennel salad and endive salad, which, by the way, I put endive and beet because I wanted to make sure everyone knew that there were beets in there, because, you know, beets have like a funny controversy. Sometimes not everyone is team beet. And I'm late to the game. You know, I started liking them, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago. But in any event, it won. That was the one that won. The other one was this delicious, it wasn't really a salad, but I included with salads. It was asparagus, orange, and a little grated egg yolk on top. So in any event, the endive salad won, and I'm very excited about that because I do love endive. And I make, actually, years ago, I started making this appetizer with endive, sometimes for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and so I will have to share that sometime. If y'all like this, you will love that too. It's very friendly flavors in there. And in any event, I'm so excited to be able to focus on these recipes. But the salad course, you know, maybe for a girl dinner, it'll fill me up, but not for dinner with Hubs. So I did want to get some fish, and we got some fish at a nearby place called Fishtown Seafood here in Philly. And this is cod. They highly recommend the cod. And so that's what I'm going to be cooking.
Barbara said, love beets.
I saw that, yeah. Did you put your finger on? Look at you. You put your finger on. And for the occasion, oh, in fact, it's got a wee little bit. I'm cheering because I actually think the sun is peeking out. Barbara, I don't know if it's by you.
It actually is. Yeah.
So would you fill me up? I'm drinking a Pinot Grigio. It is not a French wine, but it's a delicious one that I think will be great. So
It's Italian, right?
It is Italian. So to figure out what I was going to be doing with the fish today, I did check in the cookbook. She has some great fish recipes, but nothing really spoke to something that would be good with the salad we were having. So I did go online and I found a great recipe from the Serious Eats website. And it's a very simple fish. We're going to pull this together super fast, get in the oven, and make the salad while it's cooking.
So it's cod.
So yeah, I mentioned it was cod. So we are going to be wrapping our fish into some foil. You could use parchment paper. Tonight I'm using foil. I knew it'd be less fussy, and I could just scrunch it all together if I wanted to.
So is Barbara up north? She's in.
I've never asked her because I didn't know if she wanted to share that. So I've never
she
really.
said it's still raining there.
Ah, so
That's why.
maybe you are then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of shooting up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So for our fish, it's going to be quite simple. You start with a teaspoon of butter at the bottom, and then you're going to, my hands have already washed, you're going to put your fish on top. Let me just grab it. So we're going to get this in the oven. The oven's preheated.
She's up in Morristown, New
Gotcha.
Jersey. Yep. So that is up north. Well, it's the improvement is coming, Barbara.
It's coming, absolutely. And so you're going to put your fish, whatever fish you choose, onto the foil, and then we're going to do salt and pepper, because you always got to salt and pepper your fish or chicken or whatever you're making. What are you having tonight, Barbara? What are you fixing? And so sorry about the confusion for yesterday. We had planned on having this on Friday. That was the original plan. But when we saw the weather, we do like to go out in the city one of the nights, at least on the weekends. And I said to Hubs, I'm like, why don't we do it Friday night instead? Switch the live stream to Saturday since it was going to be really kind of a crummy day. Did not know when it was going to end. And so we just went to a brewery called Yards. That is a Philly brewery. And we just had a great dinner there. So to this, we are going to be adding a few things on top. We are going to be putting some herbs, and the herbs I'm using, it's really whatever you have. And you know I've always got a nice amount of herbs in my freezer. And so the ones that I thought would work together, by the way, I do have the link below for this fish recipe, and you can really customize it to what you like. So I have some dill and chives, and they are frozen, so they're going to be a little difficult getting out. And you want to kind of just really cover it with herbs. You could use fennel, you could use parsley, you could use basil, marjoram, lots of different things. But tonight it's going to be, try to get those off.
You've done this before, right, for us?
No, it's been years, and I don't even know if we were together when I did this. I did it years ago. I can't remember if it was for you or for someone I was dating at the time.
Wow.
I don't recall, because I've done it once. And
So
it
wait a
was a
minute,
little fussy. Wait, let me just finish with this.
You dated somebody before me?
Right, it's always him. So in any event, then I'm going to add a tablespoon of the wine that I'm cooking. So, you know, and my tip that I always have, which I know many people would probably look down their nose at, is if I don't have a white wine that's open or that I'm planning on opening, I do use a dry vermouth, which I know breaks all the rules. I'm just telling you, I've done it and it tastes good. So not necessarily with this recipe, but I've done it for other wine that I'd be putting in. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tablespoon of wine over each of this dry wine. Okay. So it adds a little moisture. And then we're going to put a tablespoon. Can you put the lid on that for me, sweetie? The wine.
Where's the
right
lid?
there.
Oh.
And then I'm going to put a tablespoon of creme fraiche. Now, if you're like me, I don't always have creme fraiche in the fridge, nor it sometimes can be difficult to find. So I was looking through the comments, which is always a good thing. When you're cooking a recipe or thinking about using a recipe, it's always good to kind of dive into the comments, not only to see what people thought of the recipe, and by the way, make sure they have tried it and not just are saying, this looks great, oh my gosh, I need to make this next week, but have actually tried it. But someone was talking about a great hack for creme fraiche, and they said just mix equal amounts of heavy cream and sour cream. I had both, so that's what I did. And so I'm just going to put, and they said this is really game changing. This is what really makes it excellent. So you, if at all possible, you can definitely make chicken wrapped up like this technique without this on top. But what I read through the comments is the creme fraiche.
You said chicken?
I meant fish. The creme fraiche was the game changer for sure.
Barbara said, uh-oh, when you know, talking about the other boyfriend.
Oh. I know, we always see the comments a little bit afterwards, like it's a couple minutes delay. So just to review, we have butter, we have the cod or whatever fish you're using, we have whatever herbs you're gonna put on, a little white wine, some creme fraiche, and then and some lemon zest. And so I've got right here, I'm just using my microplane, and I'm just gonna grate some lemon zest on top. Remember, you don't want to go into the white. You want to keep on to just the yellow part.
Is that right?
Because that gets bitter. The white gets bitter.
I did not know that.
And that's all she wrote. And so now I'm going to get these wrapped up into the oven, and they're going to cook while we're going to fix the salad. So let me just get those wrapped up. So a good way to wrap it up is I'm just going to bring the long ends together, do a simple fold. And then oopsie, we had a little leakage, which can happen. And so I'm just going to pull up the side. So I'm going to make sure I don't make that mistake next time. And then I kind of puff it up a little bit so
it's like a tent.
So it kind of tents. So I'm going to be careful with that because of that happening.
So the cheese, what's the deal with the cheese?
The cheese is for a salad.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. You move this over just a tad. Whoops. So I'm just wrapping this up. So you can see when you're using foil, it is much easier than doing it with the paper, which is why I chose the foil. So the main thing you want to do is you want to seal it so that you can create this great space for steam to cook the fish. So it's going to be a gentle cook. Put it on a cookie sheet of some sort. This happens to be a small one. I preferred it just because, let me get the wine off the recipe, and pop in the 400-degree preheated oven for 15 minutes. So.
You know what the best thing about this?
Now I'm a little worried that actually that's going to be, for the size fish I have, I'm worried it's going to be a little too much time. So I'm going to let it cook at 11 minutes and just let it sit out till we're ready to open it up. Yes, babe?
I was just saying, you know what the best thing about this is?
What's that?
The lack of cleanup.
I know, Hubs is super excited about that. So now to the salad. And by the way, you know, each month this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be grabbing a recipe from French Food at Home, Laura Calder. Hubs is doing a great job. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. Thank you, Hubs. And but next month will be a little different for me, as I mentioned on my live stream. Next month, I'm taking a break from my YouTube channel just for a month to kind of recharge. You may see me doing an impromptu live stream vertically. I know these are usually horizontal, but I might do an impromptu vertical live stream, and I might also release some videos that I'm making. But yeah, I just need a little bit of a break. I'll still be around on Twitter and Instagram and on the YouTube community part of my channel, but just gonna like take a break and recharge and get ready for May. So there will not be a French one next month, but I will in May make sure there's another French live stream. So just to let y'all know that. And of course, if you don't know, the reason I'm doing this is in honor of the Olympics being in Paris. So on to our salad, the endive salad. So let me talk to you about the ingredients that are gonna be in this salad. We're gonna need some endives, beet, roasted, preferably. You could use canned, but they tend to have a little bit different flavor. I myself don't like beets that are canned. If that's not a big deal for you, then no worries, and just do the canned. For me, I only like them roasted, and what's nice is by me, in our market, they have these already roasted for you. There might be another brand, but check in where your vegetables are, because sometimes there is already a pre-roasted kind, which to me don't have quite the flavor that canned has, that I don't like as much. So, so these are called Love Beets, ready to eat. So it's a nice, easy way to use them. Otherwise, you can follow, you know, just Google how to roast beets and just follow the directions for that. Let me get the endive out of my fridge.
So Barbara said French food is something I would like to try more. Then she said, you earned a break.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. That's so sweet.
And she said fresh only for me from a beet standpoint.
Yes, me too. And you know, it's funny because you definitely didn't like beets.
I hated beets. That was one of the two foods that I didn't like.
But the reason was because the only ones you were exposed to
were the canned beets.
And my mom was the same way. She did not like, I don't think she liked canned beets either, but once we all got exposed to roast beets, which
Remember
is a newer.
we had that vegetable platter at,
Absolutely.
where was that?
Osteria?
Osteria.
Yeah. So the recipe is below. I wrote everything down, and I also found a link for the same recipe from Laura Calder that I put below the actual recipe, so that you have all the information you need. So here, these are endive. So endive are one of the more bitter lettuces, but I don't think endive are that bitter. Like, I don't think they're as bitter as arugula. And I'm trying to think some of the other ones. Chicory, and what's the one? Escarole, which again, escarole I don't find all that bitter.
I like escarole.
But these can be used in a lot of different ways, and they make great appetizers because you kind of have these little boats that you make. So I'm going to be chopping it up a little differently than I'm accustomed to, but she mentions it in the recipe, so I'm going to give honor to that. I did not buy 4 large endives. It's just Hubs and I, so I'm adjusting this recipe just for 2 of us, which I totally think is easy to do in this recipe. So just kind of think, how many people are you going to be serving this to? It says it serves 6. So anyways, I just got 2. If we have some left over, then we have leftovers. So I'm just going to wash these on the outside. I don't know how y'all are,
Can I
but
take
for
this
me,
out?
don't take it out of the wrapper yet, though. For me, with endives,
That's weird. It's like vacuum packed.
yeah, it's always vacuum packed. For me, what I do is I don't like take these all apart and wash them. I wash the outsides of them and hope for the best, which I know can be tricky in this day and age, but that's what I do. Then I also remove any leaves that just seem a little brown.
Wendy Brooks.
Wendy!
Kelly,
Hey!
Brian, Gary, and Wendy
gosh.
on. Hi, cuz.
Well, hello. Hi, cousins. It's wonderful to have you on. We are doing some French cooking today. I'm sure you are all watching March Madness as Hubs is. We have the TV on across here. And we're making and I know Wendy loves French, everything French. Oui, oui, mon ami. So
It's funny when you found that out, you turned a little red.
I'm so excited. Yes. And so in any event, we're just talking about the endive. And so see how it's like a little brown there? So I just take these outer 2 out. Aw, it's wonderful when family comes on in. Thanks for joining. So in any event, I took the brown ones off, and then as she mentions, as Laura Calder mentions, we're going to quarter this, and then we're going to core it. So I'm going to take off the end. I'm going to cut them into 4ths. Typically, when I make this one appetizer, I don't even cut it at all. I just literally take all the leaves off, and those little boats become kind of the vessel for whatever I'm putting in them. So you can see, once you cut it in half, you can see this core. That's what we want to get rid of. So I'm going to cut it one more time so that it's in the 4th, and that'll help us get that core out. And then I found a kind of a pretty dish because even though we're not eating out tonight, Hubs and I do, well, I shouldn't say Hubs and I, but Hubs knows I like to kind of fancify our dinner sometimes, right? Just make it just a little fancy.
A little fancy. By the way, Wendy, tell Gary my pool is becoming embarrassing.
I gotta say, it was really funny, and you guys will appreciate it. There was a flurry of texts the other night, on Thursday night, when everything started. And Barbara, I don't know if you follow any of the March Madness, but my cousins and the rest of the family, we do. And in any event, there was such a flurry in our family text about brackets being busted. I was not participating this year. I promise I will participate one of these years. But I didn't want to participate and just do like the random, like bracket. I wanted to be, because when I did do it the one year, I actually did my homework. I tried to make a decent bracket. And so anyways, I just didn't have time again to do it this year, so my apologies.
I think you did better than I did. Which is not really saying much, but.
So then what you're going to do is you're going to just start, and you're going to take out the outer leaves, and you're just going to kind of put it out like the, actually I'm going to start with the bigger leaves out first.
She said, yes, I do. Barbara did.
And then, so Barbara, how's your bracket doing? I don't know if you participate in any of the bracket things like our family does, but it's kind of a tradition. And my cousin Gary he like handles it all. His emails are legendary. I mean, Gary, you have got a knack for how you handle the whole family bracket. So then, as you can see, I'm just going to put these out. I don't know. I'm going to tilt it up like this so y'all can see better. I'm just going to put the leaves out just so they look, it's kind of like a spoke of a wheel. I think she mentions that in her cookbook. It just looks pretty. So there's no right or wrong, but just kind of start laying them out. And again, even though this is considered a bitter green, I just don't think endive are that bitter, personally. I think they have a sweetness to them. There is a foodie cook that I follow on Twitter named Sergi, I'm not sure quite how he says his name, from France, and he makes so many wonderful things, and he made something baked with endive, and so I think they get really sweet and tender, which I've got to try that sometime. Like I love following him and seeing what he's cooking up. He makes really wonderful things. You'll notice as you get towards the middle that the core kind of encroaches up a little bit, so you just want to kind of take off whatever you might need to. So again, just kind of bring out your creativity. It could be like a little mini art class. There we go.
Wendy said, she said, Gary says Amy beats Andy almost every year.
Oh, and please make sure to give, that I say a hearty hi to Zach, my nephew Zach, and I'm not sure if Peggy's there, but when you see her, make sure and give her my love as well, my Aunt Peggy.
And sorry about the Dayton Flyers going down, you know.
Oh, did they lose?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, we were rooting for them. We were rooting for the Dayton team. So anyways, you can see here, it just kind of looks, I think it looks kind of pretty. Now when I do the appetizer, again, I kind of make them like little boats. This is not going to be the case. This is going to just look more like a pretty salad. And we're going to just sprinkle, we're going to chop and sprinkle to put things on top of this salad. So let me show you what we got here. I'm going to bring the camera over.
Wow, looks pretty good.
You like it? Think it'll be tasty?
I don't know.
You don't know. Oh, I think you know it's going to be tasty. All right, so let me show y'all how that looks. See? So there's not a rule, but if you just get it to look kind of like a big flower, I guess. It's a great springtime salad. This would, oh, whoopsie. This would be great for an Easter, bringing for Easter. Put that down a little bit. There we go. All right, because you could make it look like a flower. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to, since these are already pre-roasted, they do have a little bit of moisture, so I want to make sure and blot off that extra moisture of these beets. So let me just tidy this up.
Barbara said beautiful.
Thank you, Barb. My timer has gone off for my fish, so I'm going to take it out and just let it sit. But I don't want to overcook it. Overcooking fish for me is a pet peeve. Oh, it smells good. Smell it?
Smells like fish.
Smells like fish. Well, not fishy though. We don't want anyone that doesn't like fish to say, see, that's why I don't like fish. And our breadcrumbs are ready. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to crumble the blue cheese. We are going to crumble some walnuts. And we are going to, I'm going to chop up the beets. Actually, do you want to wash your hands? That would be helpful. Would you crumble these up? They don't need to be in small, but just kind of break them up a little bit.
My hands are clean.
Oh, okay. If they're clean.
I'll do them again.
Do we trust them that they're clean? Are they food clean? So I'm just going to crumble this blue cheese. Oh, would you? I'll get that actually.
So how do you want me to crush these?
I don't want you to crush them.
Oh.
I just want you to crumble them into smaller pieces. They don't have to be tiny.
And how do you want me to do that?
With your fingers.
Really?
They're not hard to do. Didn't you see me do that one? All right. I think we need to taste the cheese. Oh, this is a blue cheese.
Huh?
Oh, okay, now I gotta wash my hands because I got it in your mouth. I mean, just wash my hands again. I was trying to like plop it in there without
My mouth is
actually
clean.
touching. Your mouth is never clean. Anywho, Wouldn't you agree, Gary? Or his mouth is rarely clean, I should say. All right.
So wrong.
These are shrink wrapped, or whatever you would call it, right? Is that what you said? That was a good way to describe
Shrink
it.
wrapped.
So I'm just going to cut this open. This one right here is awfully big, so you know what, I think it's going to be fine. We both like beets, so we're going to do the big one. I don't know if that's really considered a medium or large one, but actually I do think
Why don't you
in
just cut
looking,
it a little bit?
so I do think in looking at it that it is the size that'll distribute well on our salad. Of
Yeah.
course I'm cutting it, sweetie, but what I was meaning is that I didn't know if it was going to be too much beet, but actually in looking at how much distribution we have here, I think it's going to be good. So one of the reasons I don't want to do beets by myself, Wendy, I think you've made homemade beets, haven't you? Like roasted them? I feel like there was a time that we talked about this. As you can see, beets are very pink. At least the red beets are. And so I kind of didn't want to mess with it staining my fingers, if I'm being completely honest. So, and now I'm just going to chop it small. You can, of course, decide to chop whatever size you like, but considering how delicate this looks, I think a finer chop will be nice. Thank you.
Good?
Just see if there's any big pieces, and if there's any big pieces, try to get them just a little smaller.
That's what I've been doing the whole time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your help. Barb, don't we appreciate his help? It's wonderful when Hubs helps. Remember when we made that poke salad? By the way, beets make a wonderful substitution for tuna in a poke salad, which poke is just like, I think it's Hawaiian. I think it's where it comes from. Like it's a Hawaiian recipe.
Take your word for
with
that.
like salad. Sometimes you can have some sushi rice,
All right.
lots of fresh veggies, sometimes a little fruit.
Yeah,
And
they're great.
anyways, beets are a great sub for that. If you want to keep it vegetarian, not because, I mean, if you're vegetarian, of course, but also if you just want to have like a meatless meal. How are they?
What's that?
The walnuts.
Are they good?
Good. Okay, so now
So
we're
when he
just,
said pretty
thank
and
you.
said love beets, is this codfish? Yes, it is.
Yes.
And then Barbara said always he's a great helper.
Aw,
So
he's a good guy. I'll keep him, Barb.
thank you, Barbara.
All right, so I'm just spreading these around. So what I love about recipes like this is for most part, you don't need to measure. You really measure with your heart on how much you want to use. We really like beets this way. So, and I just cut that whole one up. So I'm going to make sure I put it all over this. If you are worried about your crowd that you're serving this to, maybe not being team beet, you know, you could maybe do a little bit less. It's totally up to you, but I'm definitely going to use all this up. And make sure your phone is nearby because I want to take a picture of this after I'm done. So what are you guys eating out there, cousins? You guys having pizza wings? What are you guys going to have for dinner tonight? All right, so you can see how pretty this looks. So that's just having the beets on top. Then what we're going to do is we are going to sprinkle on top, which is going to be a little bit more difficult because it's softened. I'm going to get another fork, actually. Now we're going to sprinkle the blue cheese.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, I'm going to use my fingers maybe. It's just it's hard because it kind of is hard to
How are we
sprinkle.
going to eat this?
We're not going to eat it. We're just going to look at it. So, sweetie, I'm going to ask you that question. How do you think we're going to eat it?
I really don't. I don't know.
Okay.
That's why I asked the
So
question.
what would be fun? This would be the good question, friends. How long would it take Hubs in a room with a salad to figure out how to eat it? That would be a good question. What do you think, Barb? What do you think, Gary? What do you think, Wendy? Kelly, Brian, Zach, anyone? So I'm just trying to evenly kind of spread it out. It is easier with the fingers. I thought I could do it with the forks. It's just soft. I did take my blue cheese out. Cheese, as a rule, is better if it has come to room temperature. It has more flavor. The flavor becomes more pronounced. Again, you could put as much or as little cheese here. I could put more. I would love more, but I'm going to have some restraint because I actually want this to taste really balanced. And this is our vegetable, so I actually also would like to, here, Hubs, I have something for you. There you go.
After you made fun of me, you're going to give me cheese.
Wow, he's bitter. I think he's a little bitter, Barbara. What do you think? And then I'm just going to sprinkle the walnuts on top.
Oh, she said lobsters from the Maumee River.
Oh my goodness.
No,
So,
I don't think that's
so are they shrimp? Do clarify. All right. So I'm just sprinkling these walnuts on top. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a dressing. Now this is one place where I did depart from the original recipe. In the recipe, it called for walnut oil. I used to have walnut oil. It's so funny because I used to have walnut oil quite a few years ago.
Do you have to unpackage the fish, or is it good?
It's good.
Okay.
I used to have walnut oil some time ago, but then what happened was I didn't know what to use it with. And it's a strong flavor. And so then it kind of went bad eventually. So I never bought it again because I really didn't know how to use it. And this recipe calls for it. But I think about my viewers. Not everyone wants to necessarily go out and buy a whole new oil and figure out ways to use it. So I'm just going to do it with olive oil. You could totally do the walnut oil. I know it gives a distinctive taste. We do have walnuts on here, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I did depart that a little bit from this. So I'm also going to make sure I get some salt and pepper on top.
So Barbara said, I've never used that. Sounds interesting, though.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very good. I just found it, well, I think the problem was that it was strong and I wasn't sure how to use it. And so I just did it. For our vinaigrette, she did say you could use red wine vinegar or lemon juice. I decided to use lemon juice. And so for that, it's 2 tablespoons of red wine or lemon juice to a half cup of walnut oil. So I'm doing 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to a 1/4 cup. So now I'm just going to put this up to a 1/4 cup. So let me just see where my measurement is. Let's see here. There we go. And then I'm going to whisk this together.
Wendy said cheeseburger in paradise.
Oh, that sounds delicious. And then we're just going to drizzle. And that's all she wrote. And then we'll taste everything. We'll show you what the fish looks like. Here we go. So just a really simple vinaigrette. And, you know, for those of you that follow me, you know how I like to make my vinaigrettes. They tend to be more acidic. This one I'm just going to abide by, number one, because it's Laura Calder, and I do trust her, but also because, like, it's special. This is kind of a special salad, so I'm just going to do that. Now, I am going to use a spoon to help me drizzle so that I don't just have a bunch of it go in one spot. Let me just give a quick taste. Did you pour yourself some wine yet, babe?
I did.
Oh, yeah. We
Barbara
were talking
said,
about
is that California olive ranch?
It is.
And she said, I always use that
yes,
olive oil.
I love that olive oil. And I was using this olive oil I got at a market, but it was almost gone. So it was time to get some more. And I do. I think it's a great olive oil. Now, I am not putting all of this on. I'm going to drizzle. And then I'm going to put some of this at the table that Hubs and I can add to. But I think this is going to be fine. I'm just going to do one more little one. I don't think we're going to need any more than that. So let me show you how that looks.
Looks pretty tasty.
Yeah, it does look nice. Take it out of the way. Put this here so y'all can see. Look how gorgeous. So it's really just a cut, dice, and arrange. And I mean, to me, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous salad.
Gorgeous.
So, per the question that Hubs asked me, which was, how do you serve it?
She said that looks wonderful, or
Thank
this looks
you.
wonderful.
When you serve it, you do have to ruin how it looks. So what I would do is I would take a spatula and just kind of go under the endive and kind of bring that onto a plate, which is what we'll do. So let's get out the fish, though, and let's see how everything looks. All right, I think what I'll do is I'll go here. This is cool enough now. So let me show. Oh, nice. Gorgeous. I'm going to actually spoon some of this stuff over. You know what?
Smells good.
I don't know if it looks cooked enough. Maybe I should have had it cook the whole way. Nope. I should have listened to the Serious Eats directions. My fish is not cooked enough. So we're going to pop the fish back in the oven for a little bit. Hubs is giggling. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to show you how that was, but that I should have done 15. I really didn't think it was going to be, I did not think, obviously I didn't think.
You didn't trust?
I didn't trust. Wait, let me just turn this off a second. I'm going to use my convection so it does a little bit more speedy. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I didn't trust. Okay, so if you do that fish, do it for the full time. Do it for 15 minutes. I did it for 11 and it could have used the extra. So what we're going to do is we're going to taste this. So let me get a little plate. So my apologies, friends. It looks beautiful, but it's just not. It's not going to be done for us to taste it.
What are we doing with the...
That's when we have our plate of dinner. We're going to bring that with the fish. Yeah.
So that's not a part?
No, that's not part of this. So we're going to taste the salad. So you all can go on to whatever you're doing today. I still need to get one of those spatulas. So I'm just going to take a spoon.
Oh, you ruined it? Look how
and I
it's
didn't
not
take
pretty
a picture.
anymore?
I didn't take a picture.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't take a picture. You just remind me to take a picture, silly goose.
We can take a picture of that.
Yeah, I will. That's what we'll have to do. All right, so let's taste it, babe.
Well, there's...
No, can you just
no,
actually
there's
leave
some
those?
stuff missing.
No, because I actually want those for the picture.
But there's none on this one.
You can use this one, sweetie.
Oh, that's all right.
He's in rare form today. I think it's because of March Madness. I think it's making him mad. So I'm going to get a little walnut on here.
You're going to try to redo that, aren't you?
Oh, it's delicious. No surprise. I knew when I read this it was going to be delicious.
That is good. And I'm not a beet guy.
But you are with roasted beets.
That's good.
It's light, tasty.
Very tasty.
The only thing that I might do different is, and you're not going to be surprised, is I would have a little more lemon juice in the vinaigrette. I like a vinaigrette to have a little more tang. I'd like a little more tang in there. That's the only thing I would do differently. And I know her, proportions are more classic.
I don't think you need it, but that's up to you.
But anyways, that's just the only thing I would do. It's delicious. It's great. This would be a great thing to bring for, any kind of, whether it's Christmas or Easter, but very delicious and very good with the fish that's not finished cooking yet. In fact, let me put a little timer so I don't forget that. I cannot believe I did that. Oh, friends, my apologies. So wanted to show you the fish. Let me just get this going. Okay. Well, just coming up, just so you know, this is going to be a little ditty today because we just have a little salad to go. But coming up on Wednesday, it's going to be Wings Wednesday, and I'm making Jamaican jerk chicken wings in my air fryer, of course. And you're going to miss it because you're going to be late that night. So I might just eat them all. Who knows? But I'm really excited. I love some spice, and I'm really excited about this recipe. So that will be on Wednesday. And otherwise, I will see you in May, unless I come on quickly next month on the vertical live stream. So Barbara, thank you so much. You are, I think, I should give like the most reliable, guest on my live streams, and
She said she has to get an air fryer.
I so appreciate that. Oh, you're so sweet.
Look what Wendy said.
Very sweet, Wendy. And Wendy and Gary and Brian and Kelly and Zach and Aunt Peggy, thank you so much for popping on. I appreciate that too. And anyone else watching from afar, I just appreciate it. Oh, and the other thing, Barbara, just you might find this interesting especially, is when I did my 5-hour live stream last weekend, there was some technical difficulties. So for a while, anyone was able to access all 5 hours of it to see the pizza sandwich and the vareniki and the the cognac tasting, which of course was laughable, as well as making the sidecar. But it has run into a bit of problems. The video is now only an hour and 15 minutes long, and it goes right to, I think, the end of the Vareniki and making the sidecars, doing our tasting. So the pizza sandwich is not possible to be viewed right now. I've been back and forth with YouTube offline, and they've been working on it, but honestly, the message I got last night, I really don't think it's going to be salvageable. So my apologies. I was really disappointed because I like to have that content available to everyone. Plus, I was going to be making some shorter content with it, but that's kind of the bummer. But it does happen for sure.
Zach said hi.
Zach, hey. Zach, have fun watching the basketball games. Family, have fun watching the basketball games. Same to you, Barb. And until we eat again, bye, friends.
See ya.